So either you can create in two different ways. Either you can create by going setup, Apex classes, and you can create new. Either you can create from here new Apex class. But the only difference writing Apex class here, you don't get a color coding. Here you don't get a color coding. Here you don't get a, I mean, what happens? What if you don't get this one? I mean, the observation you can see, right? The difference is very minimum. The difference is very minimum. Intelligence you don't get from here. You don't get the artificial intelligence like if I say account.name. These intelligence you will not get from this one. The other way of writing an Apex class is also from developer console. Going back developer console, file, new Apex class. File, new Apex class. Your class name, let's say Apex syntax. This is class name you can create. So here you can write your this one. If you want to change your theme, you can also do that. Help editor theme. You can change your theme however you want it. Let's say is this looking good? Eclipse. Public class, this one. The other one, the by default, what you will be having is default. By default, you will be having default. Now we change to something Eclipse. Eclipse is the different style. Let's say gray blue. So based on your lighting, if you feel stressed, someone feel really I understand. Nowadays I am feeling my eyesight, so I just wanted to change my this one. Otherwise it's hard for me. Eclipse. Same. Now you can see autocomplete also available. Now you can see autocomplete. Enable Apex autocomplete means it will give intelligence for you. If it makes true false, then what happens? You don't get that intelligence. Like if I say AB, it will not suggest anything. You have to type everything. Now you will get that suggestions to make your code faster. Enable query plan. Query plan means whenever you are writing SQL, it suggests you how to write a query. Same. So this is Apex syntax. First I wanted to know what is my global variable. The syntax for global variable is let's say get your method member syntaxes. Get your method syntax. So this is method. What I'm doing, double slash means comment. Double slash means comment. One single line comment. If I want to do a multi-line comment, then I need to use star slash star slash star star slash. This is multi-line comment. If you want to comment more than one line, then you have to use slash star star slash. Provide the variable name, get the syntax. Provide the variable name, get the syntax. So what I'm trying to do now, public means which can be accessible outside the class. String. What is string here? Return type. String is return type. Get. What is get syntax? Method name. Get syntax is a method name. One 344. 846. Change the line. Sorry. public string get. What is return null means? It need a return statement. It need a return statement. So I provided return null. I didn't define. Now what I am saying, string syntax equal to blank. If I want to have input, right? If I want to call this method, I need to ask something. I need to provide as an argument. That argument is string. Member type is my member type. This is an input. This is an input variable argument, method argument. If I pass this argument, I can change. So what I'll say, if, what is if? Conditional statements. If is a conditional statement. Member type equal to global variable. If the member type is global variable, equal to, I am returning syntax. What is the syntax for global variable is access specifier data type, access specifier data type, then variable name. This is non-static global variable. What if it is a static global variable? Else, if it is a static, access specifier and then static keyword and then static keyword. Why this is causing another? Okay. I just defined two variables. How to execute this? How to execute? Is this a static method or a non-static method? How to access non-static method? How to access your guests?
Objects.
How to create an object?
Constructors.
Constructor is nothing but by creating an object. To execute this, debug, execute anonymous window, class name, apex, syntax, ap equal to new apex, syntax, ap dot, what is ap dot? Get syntax. Global variable. How to execute? If I return this, execute, right? Execute. Where is your output? Debug only. Because there is no debug statements in my code, if you can observe clearly.
That's only for debug,
I
right?
don't have debug statements in my code. How can I get this value now? How can I get this value now? It's so easy because we had a return type, right? String s equal to, because the return type for this method is string. Return type for the method is string, and I'm assigning to a string variable now.
It is returning. Okay.
String only, right? No, it's SYML. System.debug. The syntax yes, execute. Now you'll get system.debug will print an output for you. System.debug will print an output for you. Execute. Debug only. Access specifier, static, data type, variable, name. Access specifier, static variable name. Now, can I call this return type without passing this value? Consider that I have two arguments. Let's say I have another argument called string name. String name. But I wanted to pass only one variable name. I don't have second value. I don't have a second value. Is it possible to call this method?
Yeah, we can call by passing those
By passing?
two strings.
I don't have next string to pass. So for that you can say system null. Say that I don't have a value. Say that I don't have a value. If you don't have a value, but still you wanted to call that method, you can say that, hey, I don't have a value by passing a null parameter at a calling statements.
Null, if it is other than string,
Anything. It could be any data, any parameter, you can pass null statement.
it holds null. Yeah,
If you pass null means, hey, I'm trying to pass a value, but I don't have a value for you.
Single quote also I can say.
Single quote means it's actually not a null. You are trying to pass some value to that.
Double quote.
What if it is a date field? What if it is account field? You can't pass single quotes. Because it is a string, you are saying that I can pass single quotes. What if it is an integer? Right? You can't pass a random data just because to call a statement. If you don't have a data, real data, pass a null statement so that it will execute in the right direction. Clear? Still you got your data, right? Even though the parameters are different, still you say. Let's say member type is this one. I am saying the string static. Okay, control Z. Save. You got this, Suresh?
Even if you don't mention return SY and
Method will not save, right? Because I am mentioning this is a return method. String need to be returned. Now you can see an error saying that missing return statement for the required return type is string. You have to pass your return type.
if I use void,
If we use void, fine. Now you call this method, but what is the return value you are getting at the outcome? You don't get anything, right? I can call this method, but I don't get anything. What is the use?
return some.
The ultimate aim for me is that whenever I pass my variable, I need to get that particular string, right? String. Return SYN. Clear? Suresh, clear? Global variable is something, as I said, right? Access specifier. What is access specifiers we have? Public, private, protected. So access specifier, public, and then data type, string name equal to Suresh.
Think of one second. That string variable equal to single quote you mentioned, na?
Huh?
Single quote here.
Where? Here.
String there, string declaration. That also null, right?
No, this is not a null.
Empty.
Null is different from the blank. Null means there is no memory at all. Null means there is no visibility. Blank means it have a memory, it have some memory allocated by system, but it doesn't contain value to it. It have a space for it, but it don't have a value. Null means it even don't have a value and a space. It don't have a space and
without assigning
If you
string same.
double quote,
so now if you don't assign, now what happened? Because here it will be assigned. Let's say I will show you an exception here. I'll show you one exception. System dot.
It will have some net value.
Let's say if
May or may not.
system creates a value.
system छोड़ दो. Control से.
What I know is, if you that is definition. You had defined and assigned before.
This is
The defining is just allocate some space in.
no. Initialization is a space allocation. Definition is just a variable creation.
Okay. if this very okay.
Now what I did, it don't have any value, right? I'm trying to use in a condition now. I'm trying to use in a condition. I'm saying if I don't have a single quotes defined, what happens? It need to throw error. Control D. Execute. What happened? Execute.
If else,
No, that's fine. Still.
two if can contain nothing.
Name Suresh. Sync SYNN is null. SYNN is null. If I define this is a blank, the value is empty. You don't see any value, it have a memory. Null is a keyword that it defines, it don't even a memory also. If no memory, no value. If you do this with
If
a
you define string SYN semicolon, that's all. That means it holds null. You don't hold any garbage.
no memory even. If I say this one, at least it creates an empty space, blank space. With a blank string. If I don't define anything, if I put semicolon, just a semicolon, it holds nothing.
No memory.
Will it mean it has not allocated any space? If it
No
allocates
space is
string
allocated.
size, it will.
No space allocated. Let's do this way we can try now. So what we'll do now, we'll say system.debug array and references.
These people.
Hmm?
These are.
Is this have what we have now? Length of string is synn dot length. Length, say. What is the length now?
0.
Huh?
0.
Oh, is it? Check it out. Attempt to dereference a null object. Because there is no memory to check it out a length for me. Because it's a null, right? Length method need to execute on a memory. There is no value and no memory, so it throws error. What if I say this one equal to single string? Now I'll execute.
Also, no value.
No value, but it have a memory, right?
0.
The length is 0 now. What if I define like this?
Also 0.
This is instantiated.
Is it possible? Is it possible?
No.
In Java, string is a class.
In Java, string is here it is a data type. There is no primitive data types, right? Here we have only wrapper data types. This is how we'll say that the object. This is a pure object-oriented programming language.
This is not Java, Deepak.
Which one? Java, but little upgraded version. Little upgraded version. Are you clear, right? What is blank and what is null now? If you try to do any operations with a blank space, if I try to do any operations with a blank space, you will get null pointer exception.
You have given single quote space, single quote or
Just single quotes. If I give a single quote space, single quotes, you will see,
okay. That is one space.
you will get value 1 now.
Okay.
You will get value 1. Control D. Execute. Now you will get value 1. But how to avoid this error? You can't guarantee, right? Is a single space and all. How to avoid this error?
Trim.
Exactly.
Trim.
Trim.
Only one trim is there, right trim, left
It will do leading and precise characters both together.
Any other function is there? L trim, R trim.
No differentiated function.
Trim is a method.
No, trim is a method. String functions. String methods. So, because with the trim method, leading and precise spaces will be removed. Here, the leading and precise is a space, so it will remove and the outcome is 0 always. So, if you index it with a single quotes, it means that it is not a value of null. If you don't index anything, it means that it's a value of null. You can do operations with a blank value. You can't do operations with a null values. Null means virtually it is visible, but actually it is not available. In the memory, there is no memory allocated, so without memory I can't call, I can't access. If I try to access, I should have some memory space, which is not available. That is how you will get deref. Whenever you find a two exceptions called null pointer exception and dereferenced object, it is actually causing an issue called memory. Either you didn't define a proper, you are trying to access. Dereferenced null object means there is no memory initialized. Null pointer exception means there is a memory, you are accessing outside of that memory location. I have 10 values, I am trying to access 11th value, it's a null pointer exception, dereference null pointer exception.
You can use equal to null also to use that.
Yes, you can do assign that, null. Null you can do for everything. You can do null for everything. If you don't define, it's a null. If you define, and keeping null is also null. Clear on this?